Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Astro Trivia. You can log in to play by joining, going to www.kahoot.it and entering this game pin here, like Flying Egret did. Or by scanning the QR code on your screen, or by downloading the Kahoot app if you're a diehard for Astro Trivia. One thing that we ask while you're signing up is please use your real email address. We will not contact you for anything except if you win a prize. So if you want to get your prize, put your contact information in. We'll wait a couple more minutes just so everyone can sign up. And again, a couple little sign up announcements. Please use your real email. We'll only contact you, I promise, we'll only contact you if you win something. And the way you sign up, you go to www.kahoot.it and enter the game pin on the top of the screen here. And or you could scan the QR code. Okay, it looks like the number of entries is sort of slowing down. So we'll get started pretty quick here. Before we move on, I just want to do a quick land acknowledgement. I'm at the University of Toronto, and I just want to acknowledge that the land that the University of Toronto operates upon, for thousands of years, it's been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit River. Today, this meeting place is still home to many Indigenous nations and people from across Turtle Island, and we're grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. But of course, recognizing this sort of history of colonization in Canada isn't enough. I also want to bring to your attention a couple of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action for higher education. It's our jobs to eliminate the educational and employment gaps between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Canadians, address the backlog of Indigenous students seeking post-secondary education, and incorporate Indigenous education and language into its existing programming. The University of Toronto has the ability to act on these calls, and we should all encourage the institution to do so in the ways that we can. Okay, so we're going to start now. You can continue to join after we leave this screen, but we're going to move on. So today's trivia is about International Women's Day. I'm Taylor. I'm a fourth-year PhD candidate in the Department of Astronomy and Astrophysics at the University of Toronto. And I got invited to do this sort of special trivia with you tonight, so I'm really excited to do it. We do have a couple of rules. Anyone can play, but we can only send prizes to Canadian addresses, and unfortunately, we can't send them to addresses in Quebec. But anywhere inside Canada, but outside Quebec, we can send your prize to. People with graduate degrees in astronomy or equivalent expertise are not eligible to win, because hopefully you should know lots of these things. And then if you're under 18, please make sure you have your parents' permission to play. Note about the chat, keep it respectful and family friendly. And like I said before, if you want a prize, you must enter your real email address on Kahoot. We won't use it for anything but to tell you that you won something. And just to note, if the stream is feeling laggy compared to what Kahoot is doing on your device or on your phone, try refreshing the YouTube, and sometimes that'll make it a little bit better. So on to the more important parts. Here we go. Prizes. We have 3 prizes tonight. The way that this works is the top 3 people, it's first come, first serve for the top 3 people. So there's a NASA Lego set, which is prize 1. It's Women of NASA. There's a couple of people that are actually in tonight's trivia, so exciting. Prize 2 is a Dunlap t-shirt, and then prize 3 is this book, The Glass Universe, about women who worked at Harvard University and created sort of like the first stellar catalogs, which is pretty sweet. Okay, so now moving on to what we're all here for. Let's start doing some trivia. The first question is, Cecilia Payne Gaposchkin studied the sun's absorption lines and was able to show that the sun was composed of mainly helium, iron, carbon, or hydrogen. And one thing I'll note too, you get points for getting the answer correct, but then you also get points for answering quickly. So that is another exciting thing. And lots of people got that correct. So the sun is composed of mainly hydrogen. The second most abundant thing in the sun is helium. And then iron and carbon are far less. So we'll look at the scoreboard. Who's doing well? Cute Finch and Fearless Frog are tied for first place, but others not far behind. Off to a great start. The next question, who is the first woman to go to space? Sally Ride, Roberta Bondar, Valentina Tereshkova, or May C. Jemison? All right, everyone answered before the timer ran out, and the majority of people got it right. It was Valentina Tereshkova. Here, we'll go to the leaderboard. I have a slide for you to show you. Cute Finch and Fearless Frog still crushing it. But these are all those women. So at top left here is Sally Ride. She was the first American woman to go to space. Beside her is Macy Jemison. She was the first black woman to go to space, or the first black American. And then we have Valentina Tereshkova in the bottom and Roberta Bondar on the bottom right. She was the first Canadian woman to go to space. Next question. Vera Rubin discovered that most of the stars in the galaxy move at the same speed around the center. What does that imply? And this photo in the middle here, that's actually Vera Rubin working at Lowell Observatory. So the answers are, galaxies are made of mostly dark energy, galaxies are made of mostly dark matter, the orbit of a star depends on how far away it is from a black hole, or interstellar gas in galaxies can slow down the orbits of stars. 3 seconds left. A little bit more of a spread on this one. So this does mean that galaxies are made of mostly dark matter. And we can get into why a dark matter model is required to explain these weird rotation curves, but that is what Vera Rubin is responsible for. It's also the first evidence of dark matter in galaxies. and Vera Rubin made those observations. So we'll check out the leaderboard. Fearless Frog still on the top. Very good. Fearless Bee. We're having a fearless and friendly top 3. So that's great. Okay. Next question. Jill Tartar is best known for her work in Seti. What does Seti stand for? The search for extraterrestrial intelligence? Stars exploding on timed intervals? The universe expanding over time? Or the search for exoplanets in the galaxy? Okay, you should get your answers in. Great. Lots of people got that right. It is the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. This is when we use like telescopes to just like listen to the sky and see if we can receive any radio signals that we think could be from, other sources of life throughout the galaxy. So checking out the leaderboard yet again, fearless and friendly top 3 still, which is great to see. Okay, question number 8. Jane Foster is a fictional astrophysicist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Which movie did she first appear in? Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America, Thor, or the Avengers? Oh, wow. Everyone got their answers in before the timer stopped. So yes, it's Thor. Great. We'll check out the scoreboard once again. Oh, some movement. Interesting. So Fearless Frog and Fearless Bee and Flying Egret are now at the top. Very well. Now we have a true or false. Andrea Ghez shared the 2020 Nobel Prize for Physics for this image of a black hole at the center of M87. I'm sure some of you at least are familiar with this image. Got about 10 seconds left. And again, everyone got their answers in before the time is up. And that's not actually what she got her Nobel for. She got her Nobel for observations of stars orbiting the black hole at the center of our galaxy. So she got her Nobel for basically showing that there's a supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way, whereas that image is a black hole. It's an accretion disk around a black hole in a different galaxy. So that was a tricky one. Let's see what happened. Fearless Frog has been unseated by Fearless Bee. Wonderful. And I broke a bunch of your answer streaks. Sorry about that. But we gotta throw the hard ones in. Okay, next question. Chinese astronomer Wang Zhenyi wrote an article explaining lunar eclipses. What is a lunar eclipse? Is it when the moon blocks the sun as seen from the Earth? The sun blocks the moon as seen from the Earth? The sun blocks the Earth as seen from the moon? Or the Earth blocks the sun as seen from the moon? About 10 seconds left. Okay, some split. So a lunar eclipse is when the Earth blocks the sun as seen from the moon. This is tricky because I'm asking you to think about what a lunar eclipse would look like if you're on the moon. On the Earth, it looks like the sun is on one side, the Earth is in the middle and the moon is on the far side. But from the moon, the Earth is blocking the sun. This answer read, the moon blocks the sun as seen from the Earth. That would be actually a solar eclipse. That's the other way around. So close. Let's see. Fearless Bee and Fearless Frog are on the top, and an appearance in the top 3 by Bright Raccoon. Very well. Next question. How many women have won the Nobel Prize for Physics? Is it 2, 3, 4, or 5? We have about 10 seconds left. Okay, interesting. Split between 3 and 4. The correct answer is 4, as the most up-to-date one. We'll show the leaderboard with Fearless Bee, Fearless Frog, and Giving Stork. Welcome to the top 3. But these are all the women who have won Nobel Prizes. We have Marie Curie, Maria Goppert-Mayer, Donna Strickland, who coincidentally is a friend of mine. That's a friend of my her mother is Donna Strickland. And then Andrea Ghez, that was the woman who we just had the question about black holes with. Okay. Now, next question. Jocelyn Bell Burnell discovered a repeating radio signal that she nicknamed Little Green Men 1. What did she discover? A fast radio burst, aliens, a quasar, or a pulsar? Ten seconds left. Oh. Wow, apparently that's more well-known than I thought. Maybe it's just Jocelyn Bell Burnell is really well-known. But yeah, when she was actually doing her PhD, which is wild, like that's what I'm doing. She discovered pulsars, and they called them Little Green Men because she was like, what is this thing? It's repeating, and it probably shouldn't be. And now we know of a ton of them, so that's fun. Next. Great. Bright Raccoon is in the top 5. Charming Bison, Giving Stork, Fearless Frog, and on the top is Fearless Bee. Great. Next question. Caroline Herschel was the first woman to receive a salary as a scientist. When did she win the Royal Astronomical Society's gold medal? Was it 1628, 1728, 1828, or 1928? Ten seconds. Wow, that was surprising. Lots of people got that. Yes, it was 1828. I'm impressed by that. I did not know that before. I learned it for making this. So good job everyone who got that right. Wonder Ferret has joined the top 5 otherwise. Fearless Bee still has a strong hold on first place. Fearless Frog and Giving Stork are making up the top 3. So let's continue. Question 15. Dilhan Uryurt changed our understanding of star formation by discovering that forming stars are brighter than their fully formed counterparts. Stars like the sun convert helium into hydrogen in their core. Forming stars expel planets as they spin. Or stars implode as they are born and explode as they die. You have 60 seconds for this question because it's a lot of reading. So, take your time reading the answers. 5 seconds left. This was a hard one. She actually did simulations of stars sort of as they're forming, as they're still contracting, and the star is actually brighter than their fully formed counterpart. It follows this line on sort of the HR diagram that goes straight down. But they're A, short-lived. They're not around for very long. And B, they're kind of enveloped in like this big dusty cloud. So even though they're more luminous, they put out more light, we actually can't see them very well, which is counterintuitive. So that was a challenging one, but good for everyone that got it right. I'm impressed. Okay, let's see what the scoreboard did. All right, Giving Stork, Charming Bison have come up into the top 3. Fearless Bee still trudging along. We love to see it. And up 11 places, Happy Hen. Wow. Good job, Happy Hen. Next question. Who played the PhD student who discovered the comet Diabaski in the Netflix film Don't Look Up? Was it Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Lawrence, Scarlett Johansson, or Emma Stone? There's 10 seconds left. And it was Jennifer Lawrence. Looks like a lot of you have seen it. If not, it's a good watch. It's an entertaining one. So check it out. We'll go to the leaderboard. And we have a steady leaderboard. Interesting, interesting. Maybe this next one will throw a wrench in that. Helen Sawyer Hogg used this observatory to take thousands of photos of the Milky Way to study variable stars. This is actually a picture of the observatory too, if you'd like an extra hint. But the options are, I'm not going to try and say that very well in French, but the Observatory du Mont Magnétique, the Time Telescope, the David Dunlap Observatory, or the Dominion Radio Astrophysical Observatory, which is on the West Coast. And surprise, surprise, it's the one that the Institute is named after. It was the David Dunlap Observatory. Good job. Very nice. And Fearless Frog, welcome back to the top 3. We'll move on to our next question now. This is our second last question. Astronomer Dara Norman studies active galactic nuclei. We see these when matter falls into a black hole. True or false? This is a photo of Dr. Dara Norman and her time machine. She's a huge outreach person too. She's really great. Ten seconds left. And you don't even need it. Yes, it is true. You might have heard that there are a ton of different kinds of active galactic nuclei. And really, it's all the same system, but viewed from different angles. And it's just a disk, it's just a bunch of gas, etc. in a disk, and then it falls on the black hole and makes all of these fun things like radial lobes, etc. So that's what an active galactic nuclei is. Check out the scoreboard, and we have a steady scoreboard once again. Fearless Bee, Fearless Frog, and Giving Stork on the top, followed by Charming Bison and Friendly Yeti. All right, I hope everyone is ready for the second to last question. Yes, Katherine Johnson, Mary Jackson, and Dorothy Vaughan were featured in the movie Hidden Figures. What did they do for NASA? Compute the orbits of planets, compute trajectories for the Mercury and Friendship missions, conducted the first simulations of orbits of stars in the galaxy, or solve by hand the trajectory for the Apollo mission to the moon. This is a great figure on top. This is the like women. I think we have on the leftmost is Katherine Johnson, then Mary Jackson, Dorothy Vaughan, and then who played them in the movie. That's cool. Oh, this was tricky. So this was a bit of a trick question because the Apollo mission to the moon was actually the first one where NASA used computers to solve that trajectory. The ones that they did compute trajectories by hand, but they did it for the Mercury and Friendship missions, not for the Apollo mission to the moon. Some of them were still involved with that, like Katherine Johnson, I believe. Yeah, Katherine Johnson was the one. She worked on the communication between the command module and the lunar rover, so that when the rover went down to the moon, it could sync back up with the command module and then bring everyone home. So, sorry, that was a challenging one, but we'll see how that affected the leaderboard. Fearless Bee has been unseated by Fearless Frog. A late upset in the game. Is there still time? Is there still time? Okay, last question. Oh, 20 of 21. One more, two more. Nergis Mavalvala is best known for her work on the first detection of gravitational waves. How do we detect them? A laser measures changes in the length of a long tunnel. Astronauts can feel the squish of a change in gravity. Two clocks on either side of a gravitational wave show different times. Or galaxies appear distorted as a wave passes them. Again, we have 60 seconds for this question too, because there's a lot of reading. So think about it. Put your answer in when you get a moment. Nice, great. Didn't need the full 60 seconds. The correct answer is a laser measures the change in length along a long tunnel. They basically have it's called LIGO, the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. And they shoot lasers down really, really long tunnels, and they hit mirrors, and then they time how long it takes for the laser to get back to a detector. And then when a gravitational wave moves through it, the length of that tunnel actually changes. I think 8 might be, I'm not a gravitational wave person, 8 might be possible, but it's not how we do it. And then, the clocks option might be possible, but that's not how we do it. And then when galaxies appear distorted, most of the time that's due to gravitational lensing, which is due to a massive object between you and some background object. Okay, great. And we'll look at the scoreboard one more time. Fearless Frog is on the top, Fearless Bee right below. Giving Stork coming up in 3rd, Charming Bison in 4th, and Friendly Eddie in 5th. Great job, everyone. So this is the last question. Which astronomer is the character Dr. Ellie Arroway from the movie Contact based on? Vera Rubin, Caroline Herschel, Jill Tarter, or Katherine Johnson? If you remembered the previous trivia questions, that is a good hint for this one. Okay, we have 9 seconds left. It is Jill Tarter, the woman who worked on the Seti stuff. If you haven't seen the movie Contact, they basically get an alien signal while they're at an observatory in Puerto Rico that is sadly no longer around. It got destroyed, but that's a different story. They get this alien signal, and then they get to do all of these fun things. It's a great movie. Love it. Features a young Matthew McConaughey and Jodie Foster, so 10 out of 10. Okay. So let's check out the podium. 3rd place, 15 out of 17, is Giving Stork. Congratulations, Giving Stork. Then we have Fearless Bee, and number 1, with that late win, Fearless Frog. Awesome. Thanks so much for coming out tonight, everyone. It was really fun, and I really hope you enjoyed yourself and learned about some new people along the way. Take care.